Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story, or there's so much news you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ickowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from The Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break Podcast, a real conversation about finance.
Let's be honest, building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone.
I feel like sometimes being broke is a cycle and that we might have to revisit that.
And we're not stopping at success stories.
What happens when it doesn't go right? How do you cope with it?
Because wealth isn't just about money. It's about creating a life where you thrive and help others do the same.
Listen to the Wealth Break Podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
It's the JB and Sandy Show, and for those of you listening to us on the iHeartRadio app, make sure you tap that follow button and allow your notifications. It's Austin's 80s station, 103.1. Trisha said something, and we were in the car, me, Trisha, and our 15-year-old daughter, who's going to be 16 tomorrow.
Oh.
Tomorrow. Sweet 16 for the fuzz. Tomorrow. And JB, do you know this, that Trisha always drives when we go somewhere, like for anytime
I know you don't love driving. Yeah. We do not do that in my house. Why is that?
Well, part of it is because Trisha gets very car sick.
I'll throw up.
And also the other part is that
Sandy's a terrible driver.
Trisha just tells me how to drive when I drive, and it drives me absolutely insane. But I always feel like people are looking at me. They see her driving, very kind of not traditional, you know.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, the poor guy probably got a DUI. That's what I think they think when they see me get out of the car.
Either that or they're like, she clearly wears the pants in the family.
Right.
I didn't think about people that you don't even know very well. They see you like leaving track practice with your daughter, and they're like, oh, Dad got in trouble.
Dad lost his license, so his wife's driving now. So, but she said something that was pretty interesting, just talking about what summer was like for her when she was a kid. And it led us to the question, how would you have an old school summer? But tell everyone what you said about summer when you were a kid.
Yeah. Landry was like, wow, it's weird. This is the first day of summer. And it immediately took me back to when I was like, I don't know, 9, 10 years old on my grandparents' ranch, which was right outside of Austin. And I would basically stay with them for as much of the summer as I could. And I clearly remember that feeling of waking up in the morning, eating my cereal with my grandmother, and then stepping outside and being like, what am I going to do today? Like, I don't have one single thing planned. I have nowhere to be. I'm out in the country. We're not leaving this 75 acres.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
And
then I tried to do all the things. Yes.
Yeah. And tractors and
horses and
ATVs
tractors. And I'd go, one of my favorite things to do, I'm going to go climb in the hay barn.
Yeah.
Like go in, climb up the ladder, jump through where they push the hay bales down into the troughs for the cows. I just do that over and over.
By yourself?
By myself, all by myself. I'd tie bacon to the end of a string and go down to the tank and catch crawfish with bacon. Yep. I would just walk and go find the horse, like swim for a few hours, be exhausted, eat. I mean, I had no plan, and it was all outside activities.
You sound so hillbilly.
Yes.
When we was kids, we was catching crawfish with bacon on string. Like what?
And the bacon came from a hog that Mama slaughtered.
Y'all was the best.
Did you have shoes?
No, half the time I was barefooted. Hell, I'd ride the horses in my bathing suit up to the side of the pool and jump off of them into the water. Like it was real redneck out there.
But that's just good redneck fun.
Even saddled up or just hopping on?
No, I wouldn't even saddle. I put a bridle on it, but I rarely rode it with a saddle or definitely didn't wear jeans.
Right.
I mean, just shorts.
Would you let our daughter do any of those things?
Yes, I would let her do all of those things except the one that freaks me out now. I did not know this, and why my grandparents never told me this was snakes like to hang out in the hay bales in the hay barn. And I was living in the hay barn, and never one time do I remember being given a, hey, watch out for snakes. Do you know what I mean?
Right. So it just makes you wonder if you're going to have your, parents do too much for kids right now, I think, anyway, but you're going to have an old school summer with your kid. What would you do that day with them or tell them? Because they don't know about running through the sprinklers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Waiting for the ice cream truck to come down the street. That was
Make
huge.
it a slip and slide out of hefty garbage bags.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At night, catching fireflies and keeping them in a jar.
Yeah.
But then we were gross, and we would sometimes take them and then smear them on our shirts.
Yeah.
Then the guts were glowing. I feel bad about that now.
Yeah, we would pull the little lightning part off and smear it on our, make it look like jewelry.
Yes, that's gross. We did that though.
Do any kids just get dropped? Like when I was a kid, we would get dropped off at a park in California. When we lived in California, at Applegate Park, we just get dropped off there, and then we'd get picked up at 5:00 at night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what it was like for us. I have 3 sisters, and most of the time we were spending summers with my dad because my parents were split up, and he had to work, and even if we were with my mom, she was working too. But we'd get dropped off at the pool or take the bus. My dad would get us city bus passes, and we would go to the public pool, and you'd hang out there all day.
All day long.
And was there always, JB, this was in the 80s, it's late 70s, there was always a guy, at least at our pool, that had the biggest jam box you ever seen. And he brought it to the pool, and he controlled the music that was being played.
And everybody thought he was the coolest guy there.
Oh, yeah. Bob Scarpelli. That's who it was when I was a kid.
It's weird that you knew his
I
name.
know. It is weird. But he had the big jam box.
I remember playing a lot of tennis. And it was not fancy. I know that sounds fancy, but it was just it was like city leagues in Kansas City when I'd go stay with my dad.
Right.
It was like government funded stuff. But it was fun. I learned how to play.
Lesson and a block of cheese.
But you have to do them at the same time.
Right. Some powdered milk to take home.
I know that sounds so ghetto. But then also, don't tell me you weren't out looking for scrap wood to build forts.
Oh, heck.
In the summer.
Forts and ramps.
Yep.
Forts to sit in and ramps to jump your bikes on.
Yeah,
there was always one kid in the neighborhood whose dad had all the tools and all the proper nails, and everything was really organized, and you're just looking for free wood to build stuff.
But we never had tools, but somehow miraculously we always had cinder blocks. Like, what, did I live in a prison? Like, why were there so many cinder blocks around when I was a kid?
That is true.
That's weird.
Right. And then did you ever drag a long 2x6 or something on your bicycle, one hand on the handlebar and your other hand behind it? Drag it for like 6 blocks
to get it
to get it to wherever we were building something. Right. It was like everyone has seen the video of the rat in New York with a piece of pizza, right?
Yeah, trying to go up the stairs.
The same type of thing. We hung out as kids, and to this day, every time I eat an almond, I think about it. There was an almond orchard like 3 blocks from our house, and we just go hang out in the orchard. We had no idea that whoever owned that orchard would kill us if they knew that we were in there.
Yeah, we were eating out of our neighbor's backyard garden. Pull some carrots out, rinse them off with the garden hose, and just start mowing on a carrot or maybe a head of lettuce.
That should be, what would be a great TikTok? They always have these trends, like a parent starting the water hose and just holding it and see if their kid will drink out of it.
It's a special taste.
It is a very special taste.
That rubber taste.
But you had to always let the hot water out first.
Oh, yeah. That'll burn your skin right off.
Yep.
Sitting in the sun.
You didn't care. You just gulp it all down.
And then ADD JB would forget to turn it off, and my mom or dad would come home, and the whole yard is flooded.
JB, didn't you, when you were a kid, come running into the house once, all breathing heavy, and reach in the fridge and drink a thing of fish emulsion or something?
My mom was very into plants, and she'd taken what was normally our tea pitcher, and it was fish emulsion. It's fish poop mixed with water. Why she put it in the fridge, I don't know. But you come in, and I'm just like, right out of the pitcher, gulp, gulp, gulp. Oh.
Oh my God, fish poop.
Yeah. Fish poop.
Mm-mm.
I can't believe you remembered that. Jeez. It did happen.
JB, I can only ask you this because where Trisha was out on the ranch, there weren't any street lights. But did you have to come in when the street lights came on?
Yeah, that was usually the general rule.
Yeah.
And then there was always one kid's dad with the loudest whistle you ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'd do it with his fingers.
Yes, and it would echo through the neighborhood. And that was kind of, it's a wrap. Let's go.
That means business. Time to go, right?
Yeah.
I would eat dinner, go in to eat dinner. Like we'd be out playing, whatever we were doing. And time to eat dinner. I'd go home. I'd eat as fast as I could so I could get back outside.
They'd let you go back out after dinner?
Oh, yeah. Street lights weren't on.
If the street lights weren't on, you still had clearance.
Hell yeah. My dad used to go, Sandy, don't eat so fast. I still eat fast for that reason. I don't know. It'd be fun. But try that with the hose with your kid. I'm going to try that with Landry. I'm going to go, hey, come here.
Do it.
You don't think so?
I don't think she will. She's so weird. She's so picky about things she eats.
Yeah.
Are you just going to let her run and just kind of casually go, you want a sip?
Yeah.
See what she does?
Ooh. Yeah. And see what happens. It's pretty funny. Still to come on the show today, Jelly Roll's wife. Boy, does she know how to cheer a man up.
How to get his attention.
All right. We'll tell you about it coming up on Austin's 80s station, 103.1. All right, ladies, listen up. If you have a tough time getting your boyfriend or your husband's attention, you need to take a lesson from Bunny.
Bunny XO.
Yep, Bunny XO. That's Mrs. Jelly Roll.
Mm-hmm.
They've been together forever.
Like, I think when he was right out of prison, dead broke.
Yeah, she took him in.
Mm-hmm.
You think he'll leave her when he loses all those weight?
No, I do not think so. I think he loves her so hard.
So he wasn't paying enough attention to her? Is that what it was?
Yeah, they were somewhere shooting something. They were at a hockey rink. He was shooting something and standing out on the ice. She's been sitting up in the stands for a while. He looks kind of tired. She's trying to get his attention. She can't get it for a while. She finally bangs on the glass, and when he looks over at her, she just lifts her shirt up and flashes him. And the smile that came onto his face, it was like Christmas morning for him. And he started pumping his fist in the air and was so happy. And I immediately thought of you, Sandy. I was like, I feel like that is exactly what your reaction would be if I did that to you. And then, of course, I think JB as well, because you're a boob guy, right, JB?
I like all the parts. But
the parts. All right.
But those in particular, yeah, they're pretty sweet.
Some of your favorites.
We're such simple creatures.
Right.
I know.
The point was it didn't take much to make him that happy.
It really doesn't take much to make most guys happy.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. That's just.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story, or there's so much news you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ickowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from The Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break.
Let's be honest, building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone. It's not just about saving, it's about investing. It's about navigating systems that weren't built for you, embracing your hustle, and relying on your community to create something bigger.
And that's exactly why we created The Wealth Break. We made something different, something more human. It's not just another financial podcast. It's a conversation about real life, real struggles, and real wins.
We're here to talk about the journey. You're hearing from people who've broken barriers, found creative ways to succeed, and learned to build wealth on their terms. Whether it's the first-time homeowner, a gig worker, or someone turning a side hustle into a six-figure business, we're bringing you their stories.
And we're not stopping at success stories. We're breaking down the realities, like what it means to take risk, how to navigate failure, and why resilience matters. Because wealth isn't about money. It's about creating a life where you can thrive and help others to do the same.
So if you're ready for a podcast as much as about people as it is about money, you're in the right place.
Listen to the Wealth Break podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
True, right? You guys overthink us. Did you feel like, does your wife, JB, like Trisha gives me way too much credit for like having an
Thinking many
ulterior
steps
motive.
ahead.
Like thinking steps ahead of like, I'll say something to her and she's like, well, why are you saying that? What do you want? You know what I mean? Like, well, I'm simple, one thought at a time here.
I just
Right,
want to keep up.
Yeah.
I'm not that sophisticated.
Right.
Yeah,
Hatching a plan to scheme.
We think that because chicks do that sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I think that we assume if we're doing it, you guys are doing it too. But I think you're right. Maybe we're giving y'all too much credit.
Definitely giving us too much credit.
And if we think you're scheming, now we know for a fact the one way to really throw y'all off your game is to just flash you our boobs.
Power of the boobs.
Power of the boobs.
I'm telling you, JB, when these girls figure out how much power they really have, we're doomed. And they haven't figured it out since the beginning of time. But when they do, it's over
done.
for us.
We're done.
We're all
Toast.
Yeah, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
What do you
Trisha,
mean?
I don't see.
You don't see me rising up?
No, I don't.
Come on now. I don't think you're giving me enough credit right now.
On a completely different note, this was kind of shocking, if you ask me, that Austin is one of the top rental markets for college graduates.
For college grads.
For
I think
houses.
it's because it's too expensive to buy.
But still, it's expensive to rent, too.
Wow, right out of
Yeah,
college?
but it's, I mean, I there's a few rentals on my street and it's full of young people right out of college with 3-4 of them living together.
Yeah. I think they'd have to bunk up to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
But I can see the attraction of wanting to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. And remember, JB, you and I, we were just talking about this last week about Austin just used to be the place where you came to college and then you left and went back to wherever it was you were going to work and live.
Yeah.
I know. And it's funny because, everyone would come to UT and then leave and go back to Dallas or Houston. And Austin was the affordable place, but no jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like my wife and I will look at some of the houses available in some neighborhoods we know in Houston, Dallas, and we're like, oh my God, so much cheaper there.
In Houston and Dallas?
Yeah.
Really?
For the kind of houses we like.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Just a lot less. And that's like, man, Austin's out of control.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It really is.
And there's just so many. I'm not crazy about it, but there's just apartment buildings everywhere.
Everywhere. And it's not a good sign, too. I just read that there's a lot of office space downtown empty.
Yeah.
Empty office spaces. And I think they thought they were going to fill it back up again with trying to shut down working from home.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. They're empty and they're still building more.
Yeah, keep in mind, they haven't even broken ground on the Brody Oaks redevelopment down at Lamar and Ben White, which is going to be a Domain South, is what they're basically
I have
calling
not
it.
heard of this.
Where Mervin's used to be and Toys R Us.
Yep. And Neiman's Last Call and all that.
And Fuddruckers, yeah.
Pint House is down there.
Yep.
Is that where the Alligator Grill used to be?
No, that's a little farther up Lamar.
Oh, okay.
Towards downtown. But then there's also supposed to be another massive development at Pleasant Valley and Riverside, between Riverside all the way to the river.
Oh, wow.
Supposed to be huge development. And then think about this. They haven't even demolished the old Statesman building yet.
Oh, my God. What are they going to do with that?
Isn't it high rise going up there?
Yeah, it's going to be the last rendering I saw, I don't know where it is with all that, is 8 high rises.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Just in the, that's a big spot there. It's bigger than you think.
That's a big, yeah. But you mean property wise? It's huge.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
So, 8 high rises south of the river. Not too crazy about that. But you can probably find the renderings online if you want to look at it. One good thing to come of it is part of the exchange for letting them develop that. The city always asks for something.
Sure.
But they're going to have them, as part of the development, really expand and build a proper park, where everyone watches the bats.
That's, yeah.
Because there's
So
always...
you're not standing on the side of the road by the bridge.
Yeah, you can get by the bridge. And then there was kind of like a little janky walkway. And
Yeah.
so in the renderings, there's like a big park there and nice sidewalks and a viewing area. So that'll be a nice trade-off.
Yeah, I agree.
And you say they haven't even started because the Statesman building is still there.
They haven't even torn that down yet.
Wow. Oh, we're not going to recognize this little town anymore.
Well, that's just a few areas I'm talking about. There's tons more happening.
Right. So, oh, well. That's going to change the look of that whole area where the Statesman is. That whole area is going to look completely. You know, right? Remember, it's a Fridays right across the river there?
It used to be.
TGI Fridays.
In the Line Hotel, there used to be a Fridays.
Yeah.
It used to be a Sheridan with a Fridays.
Right. That's right.
Or
That's
a Radisson or a Sheridan. Anyway.
I'm not sure. Hey, make sure you give us a follow on Instagram. It is at JBSandyATX. Stick around. We got more coming up on Austin's 80s station, 103.1. Austin's got another peeper. And this peeper's been caught on video.
I'm out of town.
It's not you.
JB's in Chicago. East Central Austin, the Cherrywood neighborhood.
Oh, that's a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, just east of UT, just about 2 or 3 miles from downtown. They've got reports of a peeper that is just really creepy because they've got him on video. All right,
Yeah,
someone got video of it.
I don't know how you think you could get away with that. Like going and peeking in windows, old school?
Right. That's exactly what he's doing.
But there are cameras everywhere.
Everywhere.
Let me tell you,
People
the video that I saw, this peeper spooked pretty easily because he may see something, but he ain't seen it for long because he literally walks up to the window, looks in, and runs away.
That's a baby peeper. What we have here is a baby peeper.
Yeah.
He's just getting started. He's
You think
practicing.
so? He's practicing.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, it was 2 videos I've seen of him, and he literally just walks up, looks in the window, and then runs off.
Can you tell what he looks like? Old guy, young guy?
Kind of a youngish guy. I'd hate to give out a description that I haven't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to give one out that's inaccurate.
But you think it's like a homeless drifter or just a perv?
No, he's a perv dude. Perv. Yeah, he's probably from Round Rock.
He's a baby peeper because he's from Round Rock.
That's probably.
Perv capital of Texas.
Yeah.
You know
we
that?
had a peeper, my friend Lisa and I, when we had our apartment off of Far West and Savannah Ridge.
Yeah.
There was a peeper, and when I walked around the corner and saw him, this guy was camped out. He was like on his knees looking in her window. So
really?
So this one, if this guy is barely getting the look before he runs away,
he's spooked
like
easily.
He's trying it. He's
He's just dabbling,
dipping his toe in. It's so creepy. It's so weird.
I don't understand it really. Like, why? What's the deal? I mean,
whatever you can see through that window, you can find on the internet.
That's true.
If only
It's
they
not like
knew.
the old days, you know? Where you really,
We had to really look for stuff to look at.
yeah.
I don't understand the whole peeping Tom thing,
Like
but it's
the
a
thrill.
Yeah, getting away with it, but I don't know. So if you're in that neighborhood,
I used to hire a peeping courtroom sketch artist who would go and draw them for me and bring them back.
Because you didn't want to get caught.
Yeah.
But I wonder if a peeping Tom's goal is hoping I'm going to look in this window and see dirty stuff, or is it just the thrill of looking at people when they know they're not, they don't know you're looking at them?
I feel bad. I shouldn't make such light of it. We tend to find humor in anything, but if anyone's ever dealt with a peeper stalker type, that's terrifying.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Not to be taken lightly.
So what do you do? Let's say you see the guy peeping. Do you go after them? Do you call police? What do you do?
I did all of those things. I didn't go after him. I saw him and I yelled. My dog was outside with me and he saw me and got up and ran. I ran back in the apartment. We called the police. The cops came and they're like, yeah, we've had a couple of reports of peepers in the neighborhood. But that was it. Nothing else. Nothing ever came of it after that.
Right. And what's the charge? You know what I mean? What do you get arrested for? You know, looking in a window.
Yeah, there's got to be something. Well, you're trespassing.
Oh, yeah. That's
maybe
true.
not in an apartment window, though, or something.
It's a misdemeanor. Not a, yeah.
We were talking earlier about the high rises in downtown Austin, right? You live in a high rise apartment and there's another one right across from you. I'm looking. I'm looking.
I'm getting a telescope and I'm going to see what's going on. What if I see a murder? That happens a lot in TV shows. What if you see a murder?
Yeah, I don't see. We put up an 8-foot fence. I don't see any of my neighbors, but I've thought about that. Downtown living, like people do it all over the world. I've never done it.
We put up a dome like the Longhorns practice facility. We put that over our house so nobody can see in that hall. It's very noisy because it takes air to keep it inflated. But damn it, we're private. That's for sure. So
you wouldn't care if somebody looked in the window and saw you naked.
No, they'd be impressed. Again, that neighborhood is the Cherrywood neighborhood. I'm not going to lie to you. I had to look up where that was. JB, you know exactly where it was, right?
Yeah, not far from like East Manor where all those cool places are.
Yeah.
But you and Aaron,
nice
y'all go around a lot to all the different places looking at houses and stuff, right? So
we poke around. And I'm on. Keep in mind, I'm on a bike a lot, a bicycle.
True. Yeah.
What about
Boston?
This is interesting. Have you ever heard of this? It said that Cherrywood, it includes micro neighborhoods like French Place. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
You've heard of it, Jimmy?
I've heard of it. Yeah. I get real confused on the little neighborhoods because some people used to refer just north of Cherrywood. People would used to call that like Terrytown East. That's not the name of it. It was a nickname for it. And it used to not be as desirable a neighborhood because with the old airport, the planes would come. You remember this, Trisha? Mm-hmm. Well, even when you moved here, Sandy, they would come in right over 35.
Oh, yeah. You'd be driving over the 35 and the plane was right there.
Right there. And then those neighborhoods were a little less desirable back then. And then once the airport shut down, I was like, I wish I'd have bought one of those.
Prime real estate.
Another micro neighborhood that they mentioned in the Cherrywood area, Dellwood and University Park. I haven't heard of any of those.
I've heard of University Park, not Dellwood.
No, I haven't either. Anyway.
University Park, you start to get up by, what's the big outdoor mall? It was the first mall of any type in Austin, right there at 51st. Why am I going blank on the name of it?
51st?
51st Street and I-35. I say
Highland?
Not Highland.
No.
It was an outdoor mall. There's a Target and... Oh gosh,
I don't know.
We can go round and round on this. Why am I not? It's closer to Miller Development and all that.
I mean, there's a huge.
You looking it up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to.
Why am I going blank on that?
I don't know. I don't have any
Some people
idea.
are screaming at the radio
Screaming
right now.
the
It was the
answer.
first. Yeah, it was Austin's first shopping center.
Wow. That was what? Let me see. Hancock?
It was
Hancock.
Hancock Plaza?
Highland Mall, Hancock Center.
No, Hancock is more in Hyde Park. It's on the other side.
I don't know. Highland Mall opened in 1971 at Airport Boulevard in Koenig. I don't know.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, if you're listening and you know, hit us up, text us.
Capital Plaza?
Capitol Plaza.
Capital Plaza.
They've redone the whole Capital Plaza and it's nice.
It's gone through a renaissance. That was the premier shopping in Austin for way back, like in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went through a rough patch there for quite a while.
It got a little sketchy.
It's definitely on the rise though. It's come around. There's a P. Terry's in there now.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that where Landry went to and bought her cowboy hat in that little area?
Yep, at the Boot Barn.
At the Boot Barn, yeah.
Yep, that's right. That's where I got my Basset Hound.
Your what? Your Basset Hound?
My old Basset Hound, Penelope.
You got her at Capital Plaza?
That's where I met the people and got the dog. It was
shady.
It was weird. It was weird.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You don't know me yet, but I bet we have something in common. We all wish we were better functioning humans. Maybe figure out how to sleep better, have more meaningful relationships, cook more. That's Search for Practical Knowledge. It's my job at The Washington Post. I host a podcast called Try This. Every episode is like an audio class, and we learn together. I'm Christina Quinn. Now you know me. Check out Try This wherever you're listening.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break Podcast, a real conversation about finance.
Let's be honest. Building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone.
I feel like sometimes being broke is a cycle and that we might have to revisit that.
And we're not stopping at success stories.
What happens when it doesn't go right? How do you cope with it?
Because wealth isn't just about money. It's about creating a life where you thrive and help others do the same.
Listen to the Wealth Break Podcast on the iHeartRadio app,